days, school days, dear old golden rule days, reading and writing and arithmetic, taught to the tune of a hickory stick.
I did not want to be a teacher. There are teachers in my family. There's a lot of teachers and professors in my family. And growing up, oh, I don't want to be what they are. I wanted to do something different. So I grew up in a family that was very civic-minded and involved in community and civil rights. So that was all around me. So I was very intrigued by collective power because I'd seen it in my house. I've seen it in my family. But then I decided I really wanted to get involved in teaching because it was, at that point, more of a decision around, I had a little bit more wisdom. I was older. And it was more of a civic duty that I wanted to be involved in education as a way to provide students with an opportunity to liberate themselves, define themselves. I'm a 60s child. And so that's how I decided I wanted to be in education.
My name is Maria Alvarado, and I am an administrative assistant at Barber Language Academy. Ever since I was young, I remember myself saying I want to be a teacher when I grow up. When I was young at home, I would play school. So that has always been a lifelong dream. However, being the oldest in the family and being a female, my parents would not allow me to go away to college.
I just had a really, really good childhood, early childhood coming up. I also excelled academically in the elementary school level. Was in mostly all the district competitions for math, academic bowls, oratory contests, all of that. So by the time I got to 8th grade, they actually had to sit me in front of the audience because they had to call my name so much to come up and get awards. However, things started to change by the time I got to high school. I think it was due to low self-esteem. And so I was looking for attention to gain acceptance. So I wanted to fit in. But it was really dangerous to wanting to fit in with the crowds that there was in my environment. And so I ended up hanging out with the older kids, and I thought it was cool to drink. Everybody else was doing it. So, I dabbled and dipped in it early, and I thought everything would be okay. And it was for a while.
My name is Reuben Cooper. I'm band director at a suburban school in Northern Illinois. My entire life has been rooted around education. So my parents, my uncles, my extended family all stressed education. And I went to that great university on the highest of 7 hills in Tallahassee, Florida, which is Florida A&M University. And I've been an educator now for some 20+ years. I think I always wanted to have an impact on the people that I came in contact with, my extended family, my nephews, some of the younger kids in the community. So I always wanted to go back and give something to the community that helped make me be who I am today. I think that's really important, to give back to that which helped make you what you are.
I think that it has a lot to do with even low self-esteem or just the socioeconomic background from where they come from. The expense is always talked about. How much money is it going to cost? Are we going to qualify for loans? It's a lot of money. How are you going to pay for it? What happens if you don't finish school? You're going to be left with that type of expense. Where are you going to pay for it in the end?
Why would I want to go into a situation that I felt did not honor me as a person? And so I think by the time I did go into education, like I said, it was a second career, I knew I wanted to go in specifically to counter the kind of experiences I had in public area. So maybe the lack of people of color in the field of education, maybe it's not always a welcoming environment. Maybe there are barriers to getting through the education process. I do believe that our students of color may not be served as adequately in the public school system, and then may not be as prepared as they could be. No fault of their own, but more fault of the system.
You want to attract or recruit certain populations, then you have to know where those populations live, work, and operate. And then you have to go towards those populations. I mean, the basketball coaches do it. The football coaches do it. When they want a marquee player, they know where to go. And if they're serious about winning, they just go to where the best players are. So I think that if there is a concerted effort to attract and recruit that population, then maybe some of those numbers and demographics would be different.
One of the reasons is because a lot of minorities are discouraged from the jump. They think that they won't get hired because of the color of their skin. Number two, I believe a lot of minorities just can't afford it. Not only are you paying for books and fees, and I'm not saying financial aid doesn't pay a lot of it, but a lot of the good colleges that have education universities cost a lot. And they just can't afford it, and a lot of people don't want to get all those loans and have all that debt. They're already enough in debt.
The lack of diversity in the staff, teaching staff, I believe does have an impact on our students. I think particularly for students of color, not to see other teachers of color tells them that they do not have this role in the world. You know, so like for me growing up, what role models did I see that looked like me? And I think that helps a student understand or to broaden their possibilities. You know, we understand what we see or what we've been exposed to. And I also think that that lack of diversity hurts white students because we are living in a kind of a structured reality around race and class. And the only way to break those myths are to interact with people so that you learn one-on-one for yourself, and we don't believe all the things that we've been taught consciously or unconsciously.
We have a wide variety of ethnicities as far as teachers in our building, as well as students currently. And them seeing that they have minorities as their teachers, I believe that it helps them understand and it helps them want to become someone and continue their education, and they see that it's not just the Caucasians who become teachers or who can become something in life.
I did see those minority teachers in the school, and so it gave me hope And that's probably one of the reasons I am where I am today. And so the negative or the opposite is probably true for those kids today because they don't see it. And so we live in a world where we have to work together, we have to live together. And if we're not accustomed to or we're not around other people, we can have these false images of them or these false prejudices that don't reign true, you know, and it can trickle down to affecting all of us. I really think so.
But I think the most important thing in the classroom is having a teacher that's concerned and care about the kids that they're working with. So you have to prove that you genuinely are concerned about the child that you're working with. Once you show that you're concerned and care about a child, I think the ethnicity is secondary, although it does help initially. But teaching a kid to throw a ball, teaching a kid to play a trombone, teaching a kid the Pythagorean theorem, I mean, it's all the same. I mean, once you get to building the relationship with the child. So that's the most important thing, I think.
Today I'm optimistic. I'm always optimistic when other people tell me what they're doing to question. Not that we have an answer, but you're at least questioning and raising the issue and engaging folks in some conversation and some expanded understanding. And to me, that gives me hope. It gives me hope because I'm not the only one asking these questions. And I think if enough of us ask a question meaningfully and listen to some answers, we'll ask more questions, and at some point we may say, this system doesn't work, it's not working. What can we do differently? And really be at a place where we have the will to do it differently.